Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So for this AFK journey video, we're going to tackle the Titan Reaver boss with our VN free-to-play account. And for this Titan Reaver boss right here, a little tips and tricks for you guys, right? You can actually share your proxy battle with your friends or guildmates, and then if they attempt it for you, it's considered one proxy help. And they can repeatedly attempt the proxy battles to fill up the proxy battle quests per week, as well as the event missions itself. So that's a little tips and tricks for you guys. And now for today's Titan Reaver boss, we are running this on my VN account, my free-to-play one, and the max rewards you will get would be at the 610 million range right here. So all my rewards have been claimed, so the maximum reward is at here, 610 million. For my account, we are able to do 1000 million right here to max out the rewards, and we will talk about our best team setups and the rationale behind the unit distribution. So starting off, we're going to go with a more melee-centric route, because these bosses, in case you guys do not know, they are like pre-endless bosses, so their damage output will be more favorable towards the physical as well as the magical damage side compared to the HP percentage and the true damage side, which is better against the endless bosses itself. So against lone gaze, we are running a melee physical team, and the reason why we are running a melee physical team is because Howling Pride right here reduces quite a fair bit of damage from most ranged teams, because most of the ranged units will be using their skills within the mist over here, which means that the Wolf King has a 30% chance to dodge the damage. So this is where melee units that just sticks to the lone gaze will be able to maximize their damage most of the time. And this is with regards to the melee team. So we're running Sonya, Sinbad together with Shakir and Mikola for that frontal aura buffing melee damage team, together with the debuff from our dear Kruger right here. So this is the distribution. This boss fight will have quite a fair bit of RNG because the boss will be jumping around, your units will be running around, and they might be blocking each other's positioning to sort of affect your maximum aura buffing. So I found the most success with this team distribution right here. You can put Kruger in front, you can put Kruger behind. You can also put our dear Mikola on the left hand side. So this will allow her to cover the left hand side to buff up Sonya and Sinbad, and then Kruger will be on the right hand side to buff up these two units. These two units, the two light bearers, they're the main damage dealers, so having your maximum buff duration on them will be super important. And then for the artifact of choice, we have Harmonic Spell right here. Okay, maximum attack percentage with haste buff, as well as the additional bonuses over here. Now for the second team, okay, so I've tried multiple different combos, and it turns out OD together with our dear Talin as well as Bonnie is the best against Titan Reaver with the Storm Strike spell. So Storm Strike spell will help you lower the Plate Rod's HP much faster to cause the boss to transform back to its main body. So when the boss splits into the Plate Rod state, what will happen is you have to kill it as fast as possible, and if you're able to kill it as fast as possible, the boss will actually go back to its base form and then be weakened, which will allow your team to do more damage. So it's between Odie as well as Lily May for this best unit secondary carry slot, because the main carry will be Bonnie, and then our Talin over here is there for the additional magical damage. So Talin, I think, does the most damage if you have her built up, but mine is only at 1 copy Emetic Plus without the EX weapon, so she's like the second or third highest damage, but she's mostly there also because of the factional bonus that she's able to provide. So that's that, 20%. So if you don't have Talin, you can just run Lily May together with Odie comp, which I'll showcase later in terms of the second team damage distribution. But so far, the best damage for me is with Odie right here. But my Odie has a better charm compared to my Lily May. So I'll try to fill Lily May first, and then we're gonna put Talin in. Okay, I tell you what, later on we'll level up our Lily May's damage, our charms, and see whether or not there's a damage difference. So this is with regards to Talin. Let's put in a Talin here. So Talin will be there for the damage. So we'll showcase the battle once, and then later on we will sort of just skip through the battles and run through the damage for the substitutes portion. Okay, so this is for the first team. So all the units will just clumped up against lone gaze, and then you will have a little bit of RNG in terms of the damage because of the aura stacking coverage. Because there are certain times where Sinbad might not be able to benefit from Shakir's buff, might not be able to benefit from Mikola's buff, depending on where he's positioned. So this is where there will be some variances in terms of your damage. It could be 500 mil at one point, it could be 600 mil at one time, depending on like where the units are positioned, as well as obviously your EX weapon in general. So my Sinbad as well as my Sonya, they're level 10. If yours is at level 15, I think you probably will be able to hit harder, right? So that's the different variances to consider. But if you're free to play, just to max out the rewards, this one team will be able to cover 90% of the damage needed. So 557 mil right here now for the second team. Okay. So for this one, Bonnie will be able to provide the AoE, the damage, as well as the debuff. And then we use Light Strike spell for the defense penetration to boost our damage with the Light Strike to kill off these plague rods as fast as possible. So you can see that whenever they lower themselves to, whenever we lower the plague rods to a certain HP threshold, the lightning strike will fall on them and then quickly remove the plague rods. So this is where we are able to force the boss to go back to its big state and then do more damage to it. Okay, so we are at 230. I think this is around 300, yeah, 400 mil in terms of total damage. So Bonnie as well as Talon will be the highest damage dealer, and then we have like our other strongest carry. So in this case it's Odie. Later on we will upgrade the charms of our Lily May and then do a damage comparison. Okay, so I think 400 mil, 400 plus with this. 424. Okay, so this is the final damage distribution for this team over here. Okay, so that's that. Let's do a upgrade for my other units and then do other substitute comparisons. Okay, so for that very first team, there will be quite a huge variance in terms of damage, as you guys can see. So on the higher end so far for me, I was able to get 5887, so roughly 590 mil of damage. And then on the lower end, I might get 530 depending on where the boss is positioned with the exact same team. But for the low gauge substitutes itself, if you are running a full melee team, then the potential substitutes will be other decent melee units. For example, if you don't have Sinbad, Corinne is an okay choice. You can also use the likes of Lenya as well as a physical attacker against this boss. So those are the few options, mainly revolving around the idea of melee as well as synergizing with the frontline comp itself. So that is for this team. So I'm not going to shift too much. For the second team, there are a lot of different options. So for this one, let's try Lily May's damage. Right, for this team, because Lily May does have more damage over time, although we are losing a little bit on the factional bonus because previously we are doing a 3-2, I mean a 4-1 over here previously, and then if we use a Lily May, we are doing only 3-1, so a little bit less. Let's see the final damage. We're just going to skip through everything and run through the numbers. Okay, so the benchmark just now is 570 for the first team. Okay, so 582 on the first team, and the second team is 453. So we get a new best over here. So it seems like Lily May is a way better damage dealer if you have her built up against Plague Creeper compared to Odie, because Odie is strictly single target base, and Lily May has a little bit more AoE coverage. So I guess, yeah, Lily May is probably the better setup. So I guess we have found the better setup in terms of our best damage comp. Okay, and then if you don't have, for example, Talon, I think you can definitely use Reyna as well. But for Reyna's case, right, do remember to place Reyna away from your main carry, because Reyna's charm converts a part of the damage into true damage. Although there is this 10% attack increase, but true damage in the early game is not as strong as magical damage in general. So you kind of want to just leave the buff to maybe another support so that that true damage conversion doesn't affect your final damage. So this is another team setup. Let's run through the final damage. We're going to skip through everything. Okay, so for this one, if you take a look at the final distribution, we are still able to increase the damage output on our carries, right? Bonnie more specifically. I think Lily May is still okay, But because Raider's damage output is not as spectacular as Talon, we lost quite a fair bit of damage here on this boss over here. So overall, the damage range, as you guys can see, for the first team has a variance of around 100 million. For the second team itself, usually the best range setup you can find would be the best team combination for that boss specifically. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!